So here is the thing about natural brow tinting that most people get completely wrong. They think tinting means making brows darker. But no, real tinting is about filling in what is missing without changing who you already are. And honestly, that is the hardest skill to master. Today we are working on beautiful light brows, the kind where you need a surgeon's precision, because one wrong move and you have got Instagram brows from 2016. Nobody wants that, trust me. First things first, we always start with a good cleanse. I am using OKO brow shampoo here, and this step is non-negotiable. You want to remove all the natural oils, any makeup residue, skincare products, basically anything that could create a barrier between the hair and whatever you apply later. Think of it like priming a wall before you paint. Skip this step and your tint will be patchy, your wax will not grip properly, and you will wonder what went wrong. The foam goes on, we work it through, and we rinse. Simple, but critical. Now that everything is clean and prepped, we move into shaping with wax. This is where the transformation really begins. I always tell my students, the shape is 80% of the result. You can have the most perfect tint in the world, but if the shape is off, it all falls apart. With wax, you get that clean, precise edge that threading or tweezing alone just cannot deliver. The key is to work in small sections, pull the skin taut, and always go with the direction of hair growth. And something people do not realize, good wax actually exfoliates the skin underneath, so you get this beautiful smooth canvas around the brows. I am continuing the wax correction now, really fine-tuning those lines. You know what I mean? There is a difference between a good brow shape and a great one, and it is in these small details. The arch placement, how the tail tapers, the width at the front. I am looking at both sides constantly, because symmetry matters, although honestly, perfectly symmetric brows do not exist. They are sisters, not twins. That is one of the first things you learn in this profession. But the goal is to get them as close as possible while still looking natural. I have seen so many technicians obsess over making them identical and end up removing too much hair. Less is more, always. Next comes the tweezer work. This is the cleanup after wax, getting those tiny individual hairs that wax just cannot catch. Some artists skip this step. I think that is a mistake. Those little stragglers between the brows, the superfine baby hairs along the edges, they make a difference, especially in close-up photos, which, let us be real, is how most clients judge your work these days. So, patience here is everything. And I always tell clients to keep their eyes closed during this part. It is just more comfortable for everyone. Alright, now the fun part, the tint. And here is where this whole natural approach really comes into play. Instead of covering the entire brow with colorant, I am applying it very selectively, only where there are gaps, only where the hair is thinner. The idea is to create the illusion of fullness without actually darkening any hair that does not need it. A lot of beauticians will just slap the tint all over and call it a day. But that is how you end up with those flat, one-dimensional brows that look like they were drawn on with a marker. We are using a cream-based colorant today, which gives much more control than a liquid or a gel formula. After the tint has done its job, we clean everything off and assess. This is the moment of truth. You can see how the color has settled into those sparse areas, filling in the gaps beautifully without overpowering the natural hair. If any spot needs a little extra, you can always go back in, but you cannot take color away. That is the golden rule with tinting. You can always add, but you cannot subtract. So always start lighter than you think you need, especially with fair-skinned, light-haired clients like this. One shade too dark and the whole face changes in a way that just does not feel right. Now we are into the finishing stages, a little trimming here and there, some final brushing to make sure every hair knows where it is supposed to go. I am using a spoolie to comb everything into place, checking the shape from different angles. You would be surprised how much a brow can change depending on whether you are looking straight on or from the side, and then the angled brush for any final precision work along the edges. This is the polish, the finishing touch that separates a good appointment from a great one. And finally, the step that locks everything in, Oko Brow Fix. This is honestly one of my favorite products for the finish. It is a clear setting gel that holds the hairs in place without making them crunchy or stiff. You just brush it through like mascara, directing the hairs upward and outward, and it creates this beautiful fluffy texture that stays put all day. I always recommend clients get a brow gel for home use too, because maintaining that styled look between appointments makes such a difference. A 30-second step in the morning that completely changes how your brows look. And there we have it. Look at that result. Natural, soft, beautifully defined brows with harmonious color. No harsh lines, no over-darkening, just enhanced versions of what was already there. This is what I mean when I say brow artistry is not about creating something new. It is about revealing what is already beautiful and just needs a little help to shine through. Every face has its perfect brow shape already built in. Our job is simply to find it and bring it forward. That, to me, is the real art of this profession.